Hello and welcome back to Empire of Sin for another video, and today is again a part of the Boss Spotlight series, and today we are doing Dion. So he is an interesting boss. He's not one I've actually done a playthrough with on the channel, but I will be doing one. Now, like I said, I find him to be a interesting boss. The reason for that is he's actually a true-to-life boss. He was one of the main rivals of Al Capone way back when, so it's kind of cool to have him in Empire of Sin. So first of all, let's talk about his Empire bonuses. He has brewery upkeep minus 15%. Now, some people actually play their entire game with only having breweries. They'll turn every single racket into breweries. So this, for them, could be, really huge. Speakeasy, it has an upgrade cost of minus 20%, which is quite a big minus. However, personally, I don't really upgrade my rackets, so this isn't really something I'm interested in. His diplomatic bonus is turncoat. Truce duration are minus 50%, which is kind of good if you've ever gone into a truce with a rival empire. It can take bloody ages. I think it's saying like 75 days of truce, so that will cut that down significantly, meaning you can go back to war with them, which is pretty good. Business arrangement difficulties are plus 20%, meaning the way I'm reading it is it's going to be harder for you to actually get a business arrangement with this character than others, which means mid-game it's going to be very, very difficult for you to get any business arrangements whatsoever. Early game, I like to get a lot of business arrangements because that opens up, your game, makes it a bit easier. So keep that in mind if you do pick this boss. But before we get into the stats and all the goodness on this boss, please, if you enjoy this video, if you enjoy Empire of Sin and want to see more of it, don't forget to hit that like button and of course subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss out on more episodes and more videos just like this. So the stats. Gets a little bit interesting with him. So marksman, he's kind of terrible. 65% is not good. 65%, 65 stat isn't good for marksman. His melee is really good at 99. Now, next up are 3 stats all related to events in game and dialogue options. Basically things that are kind of skill gated. You have intimidation, leadership, and persuasion. Now, his intimidation and persuasion are very, very high, and you're almost guaranteed success when those dialogue options actually come up in your gameplay. For me, the persuasion part of that being a skill of 90, is massive. Basically, there is an event that happens in the game where a rival boss empire will try and buy one of your gangsters for $150,000. Which is massive. That is a game-changing size of money, and if you do not have enough persuasion, you're not going to get that money no matter how many times you reload your game. Trust me, I have tried. What you need is a high skill, so this persuasion of 90 almost guarantees your ability to make sure you actually get that money. Next up, we have initiative. At 61, it's not the best, not even close to the best, and it's kind of a bad stat, honestly. His movement as well is trash at 6. It doesn't really drop below 6. You're going to be 6 or 7, but it's 6. It's not, a high stat. He does have minus 5 on his defense bonus, and for me, I found that is a real problem. Now, like I said, I've never put a playthrough with him on the channel, but I have used him and I have done playthroughs with him, and I did find the start of the game, especially on boss difficulty, tricky, because if you don't get lucky and in the black market happens to be some body armor, if you don't manage to get body armor with him, I found that he is just more likely to die than the other bosses. You have to be really careful with him and his health. Try and either one, get as much notoriety as possible so he gets the extra health, or 2, get something either armor or something in the armor slot that actually increases his base health. Because, like I said, that -5, I found that there was a real difference, unfortunately. When it comes to traits, we don't really have too much to talk about. He does have one trait called Angry. And when drunk, you get extra melee. You also get a 25% chance to activate Hair Trigger. But you also have a -10 defense bonus, which would put us to -15. That's not cool. Actually getting your character to remain drunk as well is also a little bit difficult. So it's not something that I'd like to rely on, no matter how much I like Hair Trigger. Does also have Thick Skin, which is a plus 15% chance to resist crit, so that can be handy. And also has Immovable, so it has a plus 10% chance to resist being knocked back, which isn't really a huge problem, but they're kind of the perks to his traits. So the perks, we're going to talk about Blasphemy a little bit later. In tier 2, I would recommend having Lifeline. I just personally like Lifeline. However, because of the, a few things about this character, you could possibly think about getting Savior as well. Tier 3, I would get Heal, because having a boss that is a doctor helps you out massively. It means that you don't have to perhaps hire one of the first bosses in the game, the first doctors in the game. It kind of gives you that much leeway, and having more people that heal is just, just good all round, really. Tier 4, I like Strike and Move. I think having mobility on the field is really helpful. So his tier 4 is actually a lot better than a lot of others. And tier 5, you have 3 options between Kill Chain, Shrapnel Bomb, and Bull Rush, but honestly, I would always choose Kill Chain. For anyone that hasn't actually used Kill Chain, you fire a shot at the target. If the target is killed, your turn does not end, and you get 1 AP. So what that means is, if for instance I have a shotgun, or I have a submachine gun or a rifle that only requires 1 AP to fire a shot, I can effectively kill a good load of people, especially if they're damaged, if it's late game or if it's early game, which is not going to be if you manage to get a tier 5 perk anyway. But you can kill a lot of people with Kill Chain. It doesn't end, basically. If you kill someone, you're going to get another shot. Until that is, of course, you have to reload. But like I said, Kill Chain is great. So finally, we get on to Blasphemy, which is the boss ability for this character. I was surprised at just how good this is. It basically, you fire a shotgun shell, an explosive shotgun shell. And it almost acts as a sniper rifle. There's almost no distance that this gun won't fire if you can actually see the target. If it's in your line of sight, you can hit them. And like I said, it's an explosive shot. So if you hit somebody and there is another character around them, you will do an extended damage, which is quite cool. So if you fire it at a group of enemies, you're going to hit more than one person. And has a recharge time of 6 kills. Which isn't too bad considering how good this actually is, I mean, it doesn't guarantee you a kill late game. Early game, it does some decent damage. But I think 7 kill recharge is good. If you can save it for a safe house, for instance, and manage to hurt a couple of people with this shot, it's actually pretty useful. But that is it for the end of this video, guys. So thank you very much for joining me once again. And of course, we will have more bosses and more videos on the way soon. So until then, I will see you later. And don't forget to comment your thoughts on this character down below, because I'll be interested to see what you think.